As far as my instruction is concerned, you might just get a moment to see accused number 40.
Accused number?
Oh, my apologies, yes. Because when I consulted, I only consulted accused in his personal capacity. I therefore confirm both representation. Also, we have already arranged dates, further dates for a formal bail application, as initially accused number 2 was only here I only had a watching brief, or rather Mr. Engelbrecht. The watching brief will end with this witness, evidence in chief and cross-examination today.
It's in order.
Thank you, Worship.
May it please the court, Your Worship, I continue representing accused number 4 in these proceedings.
May it please Your Worship, I continue appearing for accused 5, 6, 7, and 10, together with my colleague, Mr. Kazondana.
May it please the court, I appear for accused number 9 in these proceedings, Your Worship. We are also ready to proceed.
Accused number 8, who is the new lawyer?
He's not here yet, Your Worship. I think my understanding is that he's yet to consult with his new lawyer. So as we stand here, he has no legal representative.
Accused 8, do you have a lawyer? What language do you prefer?
I prefer English, Your Worship.
Do you have a lawyer?
Yes, Your Worship.
Who is your lawyer?
Is also Makando. Yes, sir.
And where is your lawyer?
It's not here, Your Worship.
Why?
I was informed that a representative from his office will be here by the name Rian, but I'm not sure. Your
Because
Worship.
we are about to proceed now. Do you understand?
I understand. Your
Yes,
Worship.
we are about to proceed and your lawyer must be at court.
Yes, Your Worship.
Are you able to communicate with your lawyer?
Yes, Your Worship.
Your Worship, just to assist as an officer of the court, his bail application will only proceed next week. So he is no longer part of this bail application.
Oh, he's no longer part of this bail application.
Please the court, Your Worship.
Because the reason I'm asking, I have already an affidavit
That's correct.
which has been received.
Yeah, the instruction I have, Your Worship, is that that affidavit is hereby withdrawn. It's no longer before the court because the instruction is that he wants to be part of the bail application which is set down next week, not part of these proceedings. Please, the court, Your Worship.
Accused 8, is that correct?
Yes, Your Worship, that's correct.
Yes, then we can proceed.
I'm getting the court, Your Worship.
Maybe just a minute, just to clarify with Mrs. Gebhardt. From the onset, you have indicated that your client is proceeding by way of affidavit,
Yes,
if I recall.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Yes.
We filed that affidavit. It was filed with the court. It was served on all the parties in the proceedings. And we do have proof of such service. If it hasn't reached your worship's office, I can inquire where it was lost, but we did file it with the court. And our colleagues have had regard to the content That means since Mr. Hamukwaya will not be proceeding with his application after Mrs. Hamukwaya, my client's application will be moved next by way of the supporting affidavit, which I will read onto the record.
I have no sight of that affidavit. I've only received one affidavit
Yes, I
from
will speak.
accused 8.
Your Worship, when the break starts, I will attend to the office of the clerk of the court and inquire from them where they placed that affidavit.
I want to have sight of it because there are
I can go
issues
now.
I want to deal with first.
I can go now and fetch it because we did file it. I have an extra copy here if it will also assist the court until I fetch the one that was served specifically for the court. I do have an extra set.
Mr. Lilongwe, do you have the charge sheet?
The charge sheet or the
Yes,
affidavit?
The charge sheet.
The charge sheet is before you, Your Worship.
Okay, it's part of the file. Okay. Yes, I want to have sight of that affidavit just briefly. The court will then just briefly adjourn.
As it pleases the court.
Counsel, just a minute, before you proceed.
Okay, Your Worship. I just wanted to, yes?
I'm saying before you proceed, the court wants to proceed first. I will allow you the opportunity.
All right, Your Worship.
Yes.
As it pleases the court.
Yes, now, firstly, the court would just want to apologize that we are starting so late. The reason is simply that some of the counsels were engaged in the High Court. Now, it is, in terms of the hierarchy of the courts, we are in the lower court and we have the superior courts. Now, it is that where counsels are engaged on the same date on a matter in the lower court and also in the superior court, the superior court takes preference. Only when legal practitioners have done with their superior court engagements can they then come to the lower court. And that is the reason why now and again we are delayed where counsels are engaged in the High Court. Yes. Mrs. Gebhardt, you can proceed.
I just wanted to place on record that as I've attended to the clerk's office, what happened is that the affidavit, instead of being brought to the court's attention, it was just appended and affixed to the charge sheet and placed on the bench. But Ms. Muyoro has indicated that, or the clerk has indicated she will attend to your chambers and also tender that apology, Your Lordship.
Yes,
Your Worship.
that is in order. The clerk of court has approached my chambers. Now, the one issue which I want to counsels, I'm inviting counsels to address court, is the issue that in terms of the court order of 25 July 2025, an order was made that those applicants intending to bring their bail applications by way of affidavit, they must file the same by close of day of business on 28 July 2025. Now, the application before court, that is for accused number 9 in this matter, was only filed on 31 July 2025. That is maybe that is the reason why it was not brought to the attention of the court, because I have already inquired by close of business on 28 and 29, and same was not filed. Yes. Now, do you have any comment there?
Worship, I can quickly address that issue. Your Worship, if you have regard to the affidavit in its entirety, you will see that it encompasses or includes as annexures bank statements in respect of Enercon Petroleum CC. Those bank statements run from, that would be annexure LSN 7. They run from 1 September 2020 to 30 May 2023. They are 137, I believe, 137 pages that we had to analyze financial transactions of to make sure that the proper picture is placed before the court in respect of those charges that Mr. Nandarok, accused 9, is charged with. So in a nutshell, it took longer than anticipated. I apologize to the Honorable Court for any inconvenience that has resulted as a result of the 2 days late failure. It's filed late by 2 days. It was supposed to be filed on the Monday. We filed it 2 days later. Only because of that reason, the analysis of the bank transactions took longer than anticipated.
Was there no need for condonation in that event?
There is a need for condonation. I pray for condonation from the bar, Your Lordship. When I filed it with my colleagues, there was really no issue taken with that aspect unless it will be taken now. And if the court would like me to apply formally for condemnation other than from the bar, I'm prepared to attend to that as well, Your Lordship, Your Worship.
Your Worship,
Yes, Mr. President.
in support of the submissions made, this court must not for one moment lose sight of the fact, Your Worship, that these accused persons are detained. They do not have their freedom. They are at the mercy of family, friends, and relatives to assist them, Your Worship. They are not seized at this point in time with their own affairs. Your Worship, accused number 4, is equally in the same boat as number 9. And part of the reasons why we were unable to file this affidavit timeously, Your Worship, is because we have to ask for, and we are working through intermediaries, Your Worship. We are literally what would be referred to as the messengers, because we would have to go see them and then relate to whoever, and whoever has struggles to get to the house. When they get to the house, they don't know where to find A, B, C, and D. So, Your Worship, you should not lose sight of the circumstances the accused persons find themselves in. But most importantly, Your Worship, no one has suffered prejudice on account of the delay occasioned by this, Your Worship. Mr. Court, please.
Mr. Kaspe, I understand, but if it's not placed on record, the court will not know.
Absolutely, Your Worship. And thank you for giving us that opportunity to place those circumstances on record, Your Worship.
Yes, Your Worship.
Bangamambo?
Yes, Your Worship. As far as accused number 8 application is concerned, I'm not sure whether I shall proceed to move for any condonation because the application is off the table, Your Worship.
Yes, it's, if you have any contribution to what
Yeah.
Mrs. Gebhardt indicated.
The contribution or the submission in this respect to Your Worship in support of submission by my colleagues is the fact that counsel, and I've seen it with my own eyes, we are experiencing challenges to consult with the clients who are at central prison. Because, for instance, during the weekends, you need a special authorization to consult with the inmates. And of course, as the counsel submitted, we are only messengers. We can't just make affidavit without consulting the client. And if we can't see them on time, unfortunately, Your Worship, the court order may not be complied with. Please, the court, Your Worship.
Mr. Lilungwe?
Thank you, Your Worship. Now, Your Worship, while we do sympathize with counsel for the accused person, although to a slight degree, we Your Worship will take note that if it was for the state that would have submitted this document, I think issue would have been taken with us. But we understand and will not take issue with it. I've seen the affidavit that was filed by Ms. Gebhardt, but the only difficulty we had that it's quite lengthy and I was involved in other cases, but we will attend to it as we seek to reply to that by calling evidence. We will not reply by affidavit. Those will be my submissions in short, Your Worship. As the court pleases.
Yes, now it is apparent that The affidavit in respect of accused number 9 was filed out of time, at least 3 days, on 31 July 2025, whereas it should have been filed by close of business on 28 July 2020.
Just briefly ask the court's indulgence, because as you'll appreciate, accused 4's affidavit is also not filed. That will be filed by 2 today, Your Worship, just so that the court can also, when dealing with that ruling, take that into account.
Yes, the court proceeds. It should have been filed by close of business on 28 July 2025. However, it was filed 3 days later, 31 July 2025. The court is informed by counsel on record for accused 4 that have not been filed, and is still to be filed only this afternoon. Now, the court have perused some authorities and could not find any on this aspect. However, in the case of Paulus versus the state, there was an issue that the affidavit in question in that matter was not commissioned. The appellant, appealed, arguing that the affidavit was not commissioned and therefore the court was not entitled to entertain the bail application. The court referred to numerous authorities, and one of them is the Secunda case. And it was held that bail proceedings are sui generis, they are not civil or criminal. They have no rigid procedures. In other words, bail proceedings are easygoing, and accordingly held in that matter that the bail proceedings were not invalid simply because the affidavit was not commissioned, because a bail is sui generis, have its own procedures and purpose. And further, in the present case, the applicant has a constitutional right to apply for bail. There is no rigid procedure in bail applications. As stated, bail applications are neither criminal or civil, sui generis, and unique in procedure and purpose. Therefore, in the circumstances, for the court to refuse to entertain the application for the applicant on the basis that the affidavit was not filed in time will mean that the court is closing its door to the constitutional right of the applicant to apply for bail. And in these circumstances, this court is of the considered view that, taking into account the flexibility of bail proceedings, that it is neither civil or criminal, sui generis, and unique in terms of procedure and purpose, the court is inclined, or of the considered view, and the state also indicated they take no issue with that. There's no prejudice to be suffered. In the result, the court is of the considered view that the application, or in other words, the affidavits in support of the applicants filed late are hereby condoned, and the applicants are to proceed with their bail application. we can then proceed.
Please, the court, Your Worship. Your Worship, the witness is still under oath. We can proceed. I'm ready to proceed.
Yes, ma'am, you are still under oath. You are informed to speak up
Yes, Your Worship.
and just take your time. Be slow, not too fast. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Worship. I understand. Thank you, Your Worship.
Good morning, Mrs. Hamukwaya.
Good morning.
As you heard, the last time we were in this court, you were moving at a bit fast speed. Try to give the time to His Worship to take note of what you are saying. Please go to Your Worship. Now, let's see, Your Worship, I'm going to deal with the charges, the allegation against the accused person. That is at page 6, Your Worship, of Exhibit E2. That is the bundle.
Maybe before you proceed, let me just take here a little bit backward. Ma'am, you testified that you were the executive for finance, just for clarity purposes. In that you were the executive for finance, but responsible for Namcor as well as Namcor trading.
That is correct, Your Worship.
Can you just highlight to the court in practice, how does that work?
My contract of employment is under the National Corporation, Petroleum Corporation.
Is that Namcor or the
Namcor.
trading?
Namcor.
Namcor, yes.
Yes. However, my duties also, I take care of the two subsidiaries, Namcor Trading and Distribution, in as far as financial management of that subsidiary is concerned.
Yes, I want to know how does that work in practice?
For example, Your Worship, if a payment under Namcor Trading is to be made, I, as the executive of Namcor, act also on behalf of Namcor Trading. So I will make that payment also together with another a signatory. So the financial functions of the trading company also lies with me.
Now, does that mean that you have to, maybe for lack of better word, in terms of financial statements, you have a financial statement, for example, for Namcor, and you have a financial statement for Namcor Trading?
Correct, Your Worship.
Now, we have heard from the evidence of the fourth applicant that Namcor Trading was the one responsible for selling fuel to the resellers.
Correct, Your Worship.
Now, if Namcor Trading sells fuel to the resellers, when the payment is made from the resellers to Namcor Trading, is there a distinction between that payment when it comes to you? Do you allocate that payment, for example, to Namcor Trading's account as opposed to Namcor?
Correct, Your Worship. Namcor Trading, the company, has its own bank accounts. When the reseller pays for fuel, on the invoice, they are indicated a bank statement, a banking details. Those banking details are for the trading company. So the money automatically goes into Namcor Trading.
Now, are you in a position to tell you were a co-signatory to account 520?
Correct, Your Worship.
If I am correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, that account was for Enercon.
Correct, Your Worship.
Now, when payment is made from that account to Namcor, does that payment go to Namcor or does the payment go to Namcor Trading?
Goes to Namcor Trading.
Counsel, you can proceed.
Just as a follow-up from His Worship question on the Namcor trading, since you have confirmed to the court that as the executive finance and the administration for Namcor, that is the petroleum company, as well as the trading and distribution, can you confirm to the court that whether or not Namcor Trading and Distribution either received any money from government, I mean public funds, in its function or to support its operation?
Okay. Your Worship, the holding company Namcor receives a levy coming from the National Energy Fund for the
Just slow down.
from National Energy Fund.
Yes.
That money is allocated to Namcor to pay the administrative expenditures of Namcor, the holding company. That has been the practice. The trading company receives no money from the holding company. Namcor Trading receives no money from that levy that is been given to the holding company, Namcor. Namcor Trading operates independently, meaning it generates its own incomes, predominantly from the sale of petroleum products, and it also pays its own expenditures and debts. So, Your Worship, the holding...
You can go slowly, ma'am. His Worship will indicate that you can proceed.
Yes, you can proceed.
So, the holding company supports administratively the trading company. For example,
Just slow down. Yes.
the finance function is in Namcor. However, there are teams that support the trading company. So the trading company is independent in its business dealings.
What do you mean team supporting the trading?
The finance department has a team to support the trading company in terms of finance functions.
What do you mean?
Say, for example, a finance accountant, a financial accountant within the finance department.
From Namcor?
Yes,
Yes.
is allocated to trading. Your Worship.
If he's allocated, is he paid for by the trading or paid for by Namcor?
He's paid for by Namcor.
Counsel, you can proceed.
Please, the court, Your Worship. Yeah, Your Worship, I'm referring the witness to page 6 of the bundle, which was handed up by fourth applicant. That is exhibit E2. Please, the court, Your Worship. That's basically, Your Worship, the charge sheet from count 20 to count 20.
At what page?
At page 6, Your Worship. E2. Please, the court, Your Worship. So let's deal briefly with the allegation by the state against you. If you look at count 20, just to break it down without going into technicalities and the reading, because I think we'll deal with this in detail. If you look at count 20, the state alleges that you received gratification in the amount of 450,000 from Enercon Pty Limited, from Erongo Petroleum CC, from Oshari Fuel Center CC, and or its representatives through Panduleni Farming CC, an entity held by your husband, Panduleni Hamukwaya, who is accused number 8. Are we together? Mm-hmm. The state further alleges that whilst you were in the employment of Namcor, of course you have clarified this issue. I don't know which Namcor the state is referring to, but you have indicated to the court that whatever you did as far as the fuel supply, it was for Namcor Trading and Distribution Pty Limited. Now, they say as an executive strategic finance and administration / chief financial advisor, in that you corruptly authorized the supply of petroleum products to the concerned entities listed herein. Of course, this is Enercon, Erongo, and the Oshari Fuel, which resulted in the actual loss of 274,365,463 and 463 and 90 cents. Are we together?
Yes.
Now, my question is, Mr. Hamukwaya, Mrs. Hamukwaya, apology, Your Worship. They say, if you break down this count, they say that you corruptly authorized or facilitated the supply of petroleum products to these 3 entities. do you, as a chief of finance of Namcor or Namcor Trading, do you negotiate, conclude, and sign fuel supply agreements with the resellers?
No, I do not, Your Worship. That function does not belong to finance.
Do you, as a chief finance, sit in meetings where negotiations and discussion of fuel supply agreement take place at the time when you were employed with Namcor?
No, I do not.
So what is your take or your comment to the allegation that you authorize the supply of fuel products to these three entities? What is your answer to that?
Your Worship, I am part of the credit committee that manages the customers of Namcor. And if I can be allowed to read what authorizes me in terms of giving credit.
Okay, can you take us to that policy? Your Worship, the credit policy is at page 300 of the same bundle. I think, Your Worship, a fourth applicant also referred to this policy, but as far as the fifth applicant's accused number 3 is concerned, we will only, let's go to page 306, Your Worship, of the same bundle. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you read into the record the relevant
Yes.
clauses?
As far as my responsibilities are concerned with regards to giving credit to Namcor customers, I refer the court to clause 5.9.
5.9, Your Worship. Can you read that clause?
The Namcor Executive Finance, which is me, Executive Downstream Supply and Logistics, which is accused 2, and the Managing Director, accused 1, will take all credit decisions relating to customers, including credit limit determination and allocation to the individual operating units as recommended by the credit committee. So as far as giving credit, the credit policy that has been approved by the board in 2019 gives me authority to give credit limits to customers and take all credit decisions pertaining to Namcor customers.
And then, of course, the same clause says, as recommended by the credit committee.
Correct.
Can you go to 6, the composition of the credit committee?
The composition of the credit committee, the company shall have a credit committee which is made up of executive, finance and administration.
That's yourself.
Yes, chairperson. Executive, downstream supply and logistics, accused 2. Executive, corporate governance.
Who is this one?
She's not here.
Is she one of the, is he or she one of the accused persons?
No. Finance manager, downstream. Downstream is the trading company.
A trading company. Who, at the time you were there, who was this person?
Mr. Petrus Iniko.
Is he one of the accused person?
No.
Carry on.
Commercial manager, that is accused number 4.
Accused number 4. Okay.
Ms. Dunaiski. Financial accountant, accounts receivable.
Yes. Who at the
Mr.
time you were,
Mr. Peter Sivambo.
is he one of the accused person?
No, he's not.
Okay. Now, of course, in terms of this policy, you had authority to grant credit to customers, correct?
That is correct.
Now, in the event that you give, which factors did you take into account to give these retailers or the customers credit? How do you determine how much credit to give and on which basis?
With each customer, when they apply for credit, there is a credit limit set. So each customer that has applied on credit, there is a credit limit set.
Yes.
That
Are you saying credit limit for each customer?
correct, that is buying on credit.
Is that a fixed amount or it
It's
varies?
It depends on each customer and their criteria or their application.
What would be the range?
A customer can request for maybe 5 million or 15 million or 50 million or 100 million.
Even though the credit limit itself is 15 million.
They can
If
they can
I recall
request.
from the evidence of the fourth applicant.
Correct, Your Worship. They can request to extend their credit limit beyond the set credit limit. And that is allowed, Your Worship, in terms of clause 8.
Clause 8, Your Worship,
On
of the
page-
same policy?
Yes, on page 307.
Can you read out that clause into the record?
Customer account. A risk-based approach is taken to credit assessment, and this will be reflected in the credit assessment data collected. Each application will be assessed on its own merit, and a credit limit will be approved based on the credit assessment. So each application will be assessed on its own merit. We cannot lump all the customers together. Then the second paragraph, credit limits are important and can be difficult to establish in a manner which is consistent with the potential risk inherent in an account. Inherent in an
Your worship.
account.
Yes.
It further says financial information can provide important insight into the potential risk and the customer's ability to pay. So I'm highlighting that point, customer's ability to pay.
Okay.
We consider the last paragraph also in determining if we are to give credit beyond the set credit limit. However, in some instances, it may be impractical to obtain reliable financial information from the customer. Sometimes decisions must be based on subjective factors. I'm highlighting that point, such as awarded tenders, bids, client base, etc. That credit limit that is appropriate can vary depending on profitability, financial position, and operating ratios, time in business, payment records, economic circumstances, and other factors. In all circumstances, it is important to understand the liquidity the liquidity, the ability of the company to pay, the solvency, whether the company can settle its debt, and the efficiency of the customer. So on that basis, we determine whether to give credit beyond the set credit limit that has been approved. So we apply Section 8 to customers, Your Worship.
Before you give a credit limit or before you make a decision to go beyond that credit limit?
We make a decision to go beyond the set credit limit.
Okay. Now, of course, if you look at the state case, they say or they allege that because you were sitting on that credit committee, which gave a fuel product beyond the credit limit, you violated the credit policy and you are liable to be prosecuted in a criminal court. Can you explain to the court what happens if any member of the credit committee, including yourself as a chairperson at that time, which remedy is available to Namcor when one of its employees or one of the credit committee member violates or breaches that policy?
In the event that there is a violation, Your Worship, internal policies dictate that disciplinary action should be taken in the event there is non-compliance. That is also factored into my contract of employment, that should the executive be non-compliant to these policies, then disciplinary action should be taken.
Just for your comment, but does this clause 8 indicate that the credit committee is permitted to go above the credit limit of 15 million?
Correct, Your Worship. And I also want to draw your attention to clause 5.4.
5.4, Your Worship. Yes. Can you read that clause into the record?
The Finance and Administration Department is responsible for maintaining the shortest possible collection period, which at this stage is 30 days after the statement date, and for keeping bad debts losses to a minimum. The practice of giving credit to customers is that customer has 30 days to pay after statement. Now, if I am to demonstrate this, so if a customer buys on the 1st of July, their statement is only given when the books close, say on the 1st of August. They then have 30 days to settle. That means those customers are already automatically exceeding their credit limit should they want to buy. That is why we allow a customer to exceed credit limits, because of this anomaly.
Please go to Your Worship. You were in court when fourth applicant was testifying, and he was referred to a report by PwC. You remember?
Correct.
Your Worship, I will not go back to that report, just to save the cost time. My question is, according to that report, PwC, after going through the bad debts, the outstanding contractual claims against some of the retailers, including Enercon, Enercon Petroleum, and the others, they recommended that some of the credit committee members, as you outlined them a few minutes ago, that there was a possibility of bringing them before a disciplinary committee or taking disciplinary action against them. Do you remember?
Yes.
Was that recommendation implemented by Namcor? I mean Namcor, the national petroleum company.
I am not aware whether it was implemented. I left on the 30th of April 2023. Up until that time, there was no disciplinary taken.
At the time you left, was there any notice to attend a disciplinary hearing? Was there any action taken against you as a chairperson of that committee for granting credit beyond the credit limits to these entities?
No, there was not.
Your Worship, now the state says you were paid 450,000 million from Enercon, Erong Petroleum, and Oshali Fuel through your husband, accused number 8, entity called Panduleni Farming CC. That is count 20. Did you receive any money from Enercon?
I did not receive any money from Enercon.
Did you receive any money in your personal account from Erongo Petroleum?
No, I did not.
Did you receive any money from Oshari Fuel?
No, I did not.
Fuel Center CC?
No, Your Worship.
Did you receive any money from any of the representatives of those 3 juristic entities?
No, I did not.
Now, on the issue of your husband's juristic entity, Panduleni Farming CC, can you confirm to this court, at the time the money was paid in his account, I don't know where they got this figure from, but are you a member of that CC?
I was not a member of that CC.
Did Panduleni, did you have any role to play in the affairs and operation of Panduleni Farming CC?
I did not. That company was run by my husband, solely by my husband.
Is there any money which was transferred in your personal bank account or accounts by Panduleni Farming CC?
No. The bank transactions that I saw were for the farming activities, which is what he does. He's into farming. So I did not see anything.
I think he will take the stand to, or he will through an affidavit, or that for another day.
Yes, Your Worship.
Now, is there, they say the state alleges that Panduleni Farming CC received money from Quality Meat Supply CC. You remember?
Yes.
And do you know who is the owner of Quality Meat Supply CC?
I don't know who the owner is of Quality Meat Supply.
Okay. The state further alleges that, yes, you might not have received the money from Panduleni Farming CC, but there is a payment which was made by Panduleni Farming CC towards the mortgage bond of your property in Auckland Park. Is it Auckland Park? Dorado Park.
Yes. I'm aware of the payment from Panduleni Farming to the mortgage. So we bought the house. I informed the court that the house is co-owned by my husband. with my husband. So we bought that house in 2024. And if my husband makes additional income, we then applied to the mortgage. So I think he did that through Panduleni Farming. But if I make additional income, I can also add to the mortgage. And when I received the settlement agreement in 2023, I also contributed to the mortgage. So that is an arrangement between me and my husband with regards to the mortgage.
Thank you.
Are you aware there have been payments from quality meat supplies
Yes.
to Panduleni CC?
Yes, Your Worship, I am aware. And also to confirm to the court, I am a signatory to Panduleni Farming in my capacity as his wife, so that I can attend to any payments that he wants me to make. But those are in the activities of farming. So nothing, I wasn't aware of anything else other than farming activities. And the income that comes in pertains to, is applied to the payments of his farming activities.
Please, accord Your Worship. Your Worship, it's almost 1:15. Shall I continue?
Yes, we can continue. We started late.
Yeah, please, accord Your Worship. I'm indebted to the court. If you look at count 21, Your Worship, the state alleges that between 2022 March and July 2023, of course, July 23, I think the state will have to explain, the witness, the investigation officer will have to come and confirm, because you told the court that you left Namcor in 20...
Correct, Your Worship.
In which month?
I vacated my position at Namcor on the 30th of April, 2023.
So they say you committed crimes when you were not there. Yeah, that's the state. And then they say, because you unlawfully, falsely, and with intent to defraud, give out, and pretend to Namcor. They don't say which Namcor. They don't say if it's the national petroleum company or the trading and distribution. And then you pretended to Namcor, not the Namcor. We don't know who is Namcor here. That as the executive strategic finance and administration, chief financial advisor, and or member of the credit committee, that you had the authority to authorize the payment of the purchase price of the 9 service station. Are you there?
Yes.
And then B, that you did not have authorization from the board. I assume they are saying the board of Namcor. Because you remember you said trading and distribution, it's a separate entity with its own board.
Correct.
And now they say you you pretended that you have authorization to make a payment for the 9 service station because it exceeded the threshold of 25 million for which the board approval was acquired or was required. Now, if you break down this charge, Ms. Hamukwaya, they are saying you as a chairperson or the chief executive finance and administration, you did not have authority to make payment in terms of the asset purchase agreement. You remember?
Yes.
Now, can you tell the court what is your answer to this allegation that you made payment, correct?
Yes.
Did you have authorization to make that payment?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell the court the basis of your authorization to effect that payment? To press the button, the money from Namcor Trading goes to Enercon.
Yes.
Yes.
Your Worship, as an executive finance, before we make a payment, supporting documents must come to me. So before I make any payments, there must be supporting documents confirming that this payment is valid. So with regards to the 53 million for the asset acquisition,
Yes.
I had the following documents.
Yes.
The first document was from the requesting department, prepared by accused number 4.
Which department was that?
That is sales and marketing.
Yes.
That is a request from the department to undertake or to enter into that transaction. That request was signed by the managing director as approval.
That request documents, are you talking about the internal memo dated 8 July 2022?
That is correct.
Prepared by accused number 4.
That is correct.
Your Worship, I think that document, we dealt with it. It's at page 65 of the bundle.
In that document, Your Worship, there is a statement there that is applicable to finance. It says,
Can you go there? Go to page 65, Your Worship.
it's on page 66, the second paragraph.
Yes.
The third sentence.
Yes. Can you read it out?
Namcor has made provision for this takeover in the current financial year's budget. So when I read that submission, it gave an indication that there is already a budget available for the acquisition of these assets. And that budget, Your Worship, is approved by the board. So
Okay.
within this authority letter, there is an authority there that says budget is approved, and budget is approved by the board. So
Okay.
that gave me comfort that there is money available for this acquisition.
You confirm this document was also approved by your bosses, by your superior, the
Correct.
managing director,
Correct.
the then managing director.
Yes. So I checked the budget, and there was a budget for asset acquisition, 25 million,
Yes.
and there was a budget for business development, specifically for this type of transactions.
Which was approved by the board.
Yes. So that gave me comfort that the transaction is approved by the managing director.
Namanje's
Yes. Page 264.
264, Your Worship.
Yes.
At what, Your Worship, are we together? This Worship, find the document.
264.
264, Your Worship. In Namanje's bundle.
D1, I believe.
Part of you.
D1.
Yes.
Yes, which document is that?
This is a internal memo supported by a summary of asset evaluation values. It says, asset evaluation report for commercial installation at Namibia Defence Force Base,
Yes.
from Engineering and Technical Service Department of Namcor. So,
Okay. So you were
That-
also provided this document.
yes, this document, Your Worship, highlights the existence of the assets and the value of the assets. In fact, there is another report which is not part of these submissions that gives detailed assets, pictures of pumps and tanks and canopy branded with Enercon signages.
Okay.
But
What-
we rely on this one that has been submitted.
Who
into the-
prepared this document? Of course, we.
This
yeah.
was signed by Mr. Nesta Shefeni, Executive Engineering and Technical Services.
Okay. Is he one of the accused persons?
No, he's not.
Is he still employed by Namcor?
When I left on the 30th of April 2023, he was still in the employment
Okay.
of Namcor.
Can you confirm the amount? Is it the same amount you authorized, you paid to Enercon?
53,211,951 Namibian dollars and 39 cents on page 265.
And the third document
This
you
document,
relied on?
this document was supported by an independent asset evaluation from SEAL Consulting Engineers.
That is at page 67, Your Worship, of our bundle. Page 67.
So,
Just a minute.
Page 67, Your Worship, of exhibit E2. May I proceed, Your Worship? Yes. So you are telling the court that also before you effected the payment,
there was an independent confirmation submitted as part of the supporting documents to me from SEAL Engineering, Consulting Engineering, confirming again the assets and the value.
but you can see the value there, the total amount. You see is much lower than what you paid.
The value was higher than what we paid.
Very much higher than the
So
one you paid. Yeah.
a decision was made to go with the internal value amount,
Okay.
to offer the internal value amount.
Okay.
The next document,
Which you relied on before making payment.
correct, was the fixed asset register from Enercon, as was required in terms of the asset purchase agreement.
Yes.
We needed to get that fixed asset register.
Yes.
It was submitted together with a letter from the accountants of Enercon.
Oh, that is a asset register, Your Worship. I think that is at page 80 of our bundle. Can you go to page 80? 80, Your Worship.
Correct.
It starts from page 79, Your Worship.
So the fixed asset register, accompanied by a letter from the accountants of Enercon, confirming the correctness of that asset register.
You had this document as well.
Correct. Then the next document was the DCF, the discounted cash flow, the feasibility study, that was done by Mr. Sem Hashela.
That is at Your Worship, that is the feasibility study. It's at page, which page is this? At page 224, Your Worship. Are you there, Mrs. Hamukwaya? 224.
Yes.
Yes.
Your Worship, that DCF is the same model we use for other investments in Namcor. For example, the Namcor branded service stations that are currently operating across the country, we use the same model, we use the same DCF. It's just that the inputs are different.
You're saying DCF.
The discounted cash flow, here it's referred to as
224, Your Worship.
the feasibility study, Your Worship. Project feasibility model.
Fourth applicant accused number 1, Your Worship, took us through this and also during cross-examination by Sister Namanja on this document.
Yes.
Now, so the state says you falsely, fraudulently, pretended, without any authorization, went ahead and made payment in the amount of 53, and you caused loss, and you must be locked up. You must be, yes.
Allow me to finish.
After this document,
Yes.
oh, you want to finish?
Yes.
Sorry.
So the feasibility study has criteria, and if one criteria fails, then we do not proceed. Those criteria are also in the fixed asset policy of Namcor. That was approved by the board. So that is also what I relied on, and the outcome of this feasibility study, to say that this project is viable without going into the details. Then, second last one is the asset agreement, asset purchase agreement itself.
That is at page 51 of our bundle, Your Worship. Confirm if you had that document before authorizing payment.
Yes. The asset purchase agreement was also presented to me, duly authorized by the managing director. He signed it, and it gave me assurance because the managing director has authority to enter into legal contracts on behalf of Namcor Trading. In that asset agreement, there is also clauses, 2 clauses or 3 clauses. One says, of the 53 million, pay 35 to Namcor.
That is at page 53.
Yes. The other one says, make sure these assets are not encumbered. I asked Enercon to give me the agreement between defense and them to see. And I went through that agreement. There were no indications of encumbered assets. So I ticked that box. Then,
Just hold on. Yes.
then
Yes.
it says, make sure you have ownership, proof of ownership. The proof of ownership for me was in the fixed asset register. When an accountant gives you a fixed asset register of that company, is evident enough that those assets belong to that company. Because
Yeah, go slowly.
the accountant will not recognize assets into a books of a company if economic benefits does not flow, if those assets do not exist, and if there's a last one, a last criteria. So is the economic benefits, is the assets existing, and the value can be determined. The engineering department already gave us an indication of the existence of these assets. Enercon branded, and they gave us the value. And that, the fixed asset register also supported that. So I relied on that information.
Then it will be opportune time for us to take a lunch break.
Please go to your worship.
And proceed
Carry
at
on.
14.
At what time, your worship?
Councils, 14 is fine with the court, or just shortly thereafter?
14:30.
Quarter past. Yes.
Quarter
Okay,
past.
I see
Yes,
councils are, yes, quarter past.
Please go to your worship.